So while you guys are going in the direction of coaching and play calling, I look squarely at this defense and
We know where you're
the
going.
performance that this defense has put forth, not just in this game, but in the 3 games that they've played so far. They've gotten the benefit of the doubt, I feel like, for the sake of, like, because of how well the offense has played. Because the offense has been putting up 35 plus points a game in the first 2 games, there's this idea like, well, the defense is just hanging on and the offense is, in the Eagles game, it's like, oh, like we talked about, or at least I did. I talked about Jared Goff having a very subpar first half,
Mhm,
and that being the reason why I think they lost the game.
mhm.
Week 2, the defense plays amazing in the first half, and we give them a lot of credit for why they win the game. But if you actually being objective and take a step back and you look at this defense, it's like they showed it during the game. This defense was ranked at that time 30th in the league in total defense. And I believe they were somewhere between 27 and 26th for the pass and the run. That's just not acceptable, in my opinion. There's no way before I can even get to coaching, I have to look at your defensive performance. And watching that game was infuriating to watch the defense from all levels for anybody named not Jeff Okuda. It was maddening. No pass rush, no stopping of the run,
Yep.
just penalties that are backbreakers that are keeping drives alive. And when the game was all said and done, even though it's a 4-point game, at one point in time, this team was up 14 nothing.
Correct.
Mhm.
And your
Correct.
defense didn't give up field goals. They gave up touchdowns.
Yeah.
And that broke this team, in my opinion.
So, Miko, in asking that, so having said that, who's to blame? Not just the defense. Do you have anybody? Is it a group of people? I'm just curious. Purely curious.
Yeah, I mean, I I was gonna get into this like later in
And
a
we
in
can.
another
And we can.
portion. Like,
We
no,
can
because
move
we
on.
can jump there right now. Like, we can absolutely jump there right now
We're
because
talking about it.
yeah, because there it comes to a point where we have to start talking blame and
Yeah.
criticism. And in my opinion, I lay this at the feet of Aaron Glenn
Okay. Why?
to because we gave Aaron Glenn a lot of praise last year, going into the offseason, being afraid of like losing him in coaching hires, and to see what this defense has put on like display in 3 games, let's say 2.5, right? Because
Sure.
they played phenomenal first half of against the Commanders. But in 2.5 games, you have put together one of the most just abysmal defensive performances. Again, for anybody not named Jeff Okuda.
And
It
shout out to Jeff Okuda. Like, that's amazing. Like, silver lining, we'll talk about in a minute, but like, that's unbelievable. Like, good for him.
yeah.
Lockdown
Good,
corner.
good for us. Good for him. That's just a great story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for me, it's AG because you have to be held responsible for getting the most out of this defense, for putting guys in the proper plays to make the proper plays. I know they always talk about like details and discipline and fundamentals, but at some point in time, like, what about, like AG also said, one man whooping another man? That's not happening
Well,
at all.
we're getting whooped.
Well, it's not even like necessarily whooped. You're just getting stalemated, right? Like, it's not like we're seeing defensive linemen get put in the ground. We're just seeing guys get stood up, and nobody has a pass rush move, right? If we're talking about the defensive front, nobody knows how to get around an offensive lineman to create pressure. So for me, it's AG. AG is the person that I'm laying a good amount of criticism at right now.